We welcome you into Tarble Arena. It is Chris LoBosco here alongside Justin Coorigan as we get ready for this CCIW matchup for the Carthage Firebirds versus the Loras Hawks. And Justin, obviously a really important game today for the Firebirds to stay on top of the CCIW, and of course another ranked opponent for them, third one in a row.
Exactly. You come in anytime you've got three straight ranked opponents in the middle of your season, even if you've seen a couple of them a couple times, North Central, Loras, it's not easy to get those three straight wins. Firebirds took a stumble in 5 against North Central earlier this week. Got to bounce back here with Loras.
Without a doubt, as both teams are lining up here as we're about ready to get going here, but like I said, a important game here as they are about to announce
and your Carthage College Firebirds. First, let's meet the Hawks. Starting at libero, the 5'10" freshman from Evergreen Park, Illinois, number 1, Aiden Peliquin. At setter, the 6'2" freshman from Lockport, Illinois, number 5, Evan Izakowicz. At libero, the 5'11" sophomore from Milwaukee, Wisconsin, number 6, Grady.
At middle blocker, the 6'6" freshman from Burlington, Wisconsin, number 12, James Pirokanic. At middle blocker, the 6'5" sophomore from Menominee Falls, Wisconsin, number 18, Roman Rothermel. At outside hitter, the 6'5" junior from Money, Illinois, number 22, Nolan Kreischeld. At middle blocker, the 6'8" junior from Delafield, Wisconsin, number 23, Bo Brainerd III. And at outside hitter, the 6'2" senior from Geneva, Illinois, number 25, Corey Mayat. The head coach of the Hawks is Dylan Ross, assisted by Patrick Hollander, Crystal Hollander, and Matt Gaynor. And now, fans, it's time to meet your Carthage College Firebirds!
It's getting sticky, sticky, sticky. Bro, it's getting sticky, sticky, sticky. See, I'm a west side from the zone. Knock, 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 knocking at the door. Steps out, pop, just grab the foot. I'm nooking if you booking.
Pushing away,
Tyler in this, we find this man, but can't be my. Run it up. I don't fight for my respect. I fight for the 35. Baby girl, I'm finna rock your.
Rayo, 3-on-3. Control, set middle, 3-meter. Putting it down in auto right in front of Callan.
Sticky situation, discombobulation. Caught me red-handed, palms itching like rosacea. Standing like ovation on business occupation. Dripping condensation, got a whisper conversations.
6'4" sophomore from West Aurora High School in North Aurora, Illinois, number 2, Owen Hendricks. At center, a 6'7" junior from St. Francis High School, hailing from Redwood City, California, number 6, Ryan Morey. At opposite hitter, a 6'6" sophomore from Middleton High School in Middleton, Wisconsin, number 13, Ben Heiss. At middle blocker, a 6'4" freshman from Middleton High School in Middleton, Wisconsin, number 14, Hudson Schweitzer. At middle blocker, a 6'8" senior from Lakes Community High School, hailing from Lindenhurst, Illinois, number 15, Ryan Cholowinski. At outside hitter, a 6'3" sophomore from Hartford High School in Hartford, Wisconsin, number 21, Owen Otto. And at libero, a 6'1" senior from Glenbard West High School in Glen Ellen, Illinois, number 4, Zach Noland. The head coach for your Firebirds is J.W. Kiekefer. Coach Kiekefer is assisted by Jacob Bush, David Marcus, and Cooper Chemnitz.
Here at Tarble Arena for the Firebirds versus the Duhawks, as it's Chris LoBosco here with you, and I've got Justin Coorigan along with me. As you heard the starting lineups for both of these teams, a very multifaceted attack that Carthage is able to do, multiple players with triple-digit kills that they have, and on the other side for Loras, they've got 2 guys in particular who are leading the way for them, a really double-headed attack that you'll see from them.
Yeah, absolutely. Loras knows they've got 2 really strong offensive presences in Corey Mayotte and Nolan Keicheld, and they know how to utilize them properly, whereas on the flip side, the Firebirds, they've got a bunch of Swiss Army knife players that can get it done from all over, outside, right side, middle, the back. They get it done all over the court, and both sides, it's going to be an absolute battle to see who can come up on top with these 2 very powerful yet very different offensive strategies.
As you can see on the screen right now, the starting lineup for the Loras Duhawks, and now you look at that Firebirds lineup that they will start with here, and maybe no player more important than Ryan Morey, the setter who makes their entire offense go. It really leads the way, and you know, as far as setters go, Morey's a pretty big guy.
Absolutely, he's a very tall setter, and that can lead to some good front row attacks from him as well, and he's really stepped up this year. One of the questions coming into the season for the Firebirds was who's going to replace Gene McNulty, an All-American from the past couple seasons, has been a leader. Morey stepped up this year, and he's been Player of the Week now, I believe, 3 straight weeks in the CCIW, and has been recognized week in and week out nationally as one of the best setters in the country. And again, like you said, he'll be a very important piece for this offense today.
As it will be number 6, Ryan Morey, who we were just talking about, having our first serve here to start this game for the Firebirds. Jump serve over onto the far side as Loras gets set up, gets the cross angle kill, is number 25 in Corey Mayotte.
We're going to be calling his name a lot today. Mayotte leading the country in kills per set, 5.43.
So one of the players that they will have to look to stop for the Firebirds to try and slow this offense of Loras down. As Brainerd sends the serve over, setting up the offense on the far side. Good dig to keep it alive, though, for Loras. As the triple block there works, keeps this one alive for the Firebirds. Not able to really get anything offensively going. As there, the hit right down the middle, and it's going to end up going out. So it'll be 2-0 the lead for Loras to start off.
And we've seen it time and time again here. Carthage just off to a bit of a slow start. Seems like a broken record this season at home. need to be able to retaliate here and get some points back.
See how they handle the serve this time from Brainerd. Going over to the near side. Good cross angle kill, but that one's kept alive by Loras. So good start for them defensively. And as I say that from the back line, it's number 2, Owen Hendricks.
And Owen Hendricks missed a couple games these last couple weeks with an ankle injury, came back against North Central and already making his presence known tonight against Loras.
As now it will be Otto sending that serve over, and that one goes out, just missed that back line, so it goes 3-1 to the Duhawks. And you were talking about Hendricks being an important player, led the team in kills the last time these two teams met up on March 1st of this month with 14. As there's another serve out, when one goes, it always seems like another one's gonna go too. Brings it back to within 1 here early in set number 1.
It's funny how that works in serve sometimes. It's just either you're just on point or everybody's missing off, feeding off each other in that sense.
Without a doubt. Schweitzer now sends his serve. That one's a good one. Gets okay off the block, right back over to the Firebirds. They will get set up. The back set over, and the kill for Ben Heiss to make this an even game at 3-3.
And as we mentioned before, Ryan Morey, perfect decision making there. And that's what's so difficult with this Carthage offense. He had 2 perfect opportunities right there. He could go right side to Ben Heiss, or he could go right back middle to Cholowinski. Defense, it's very hard to figure out how to defend that.
As there's one that gets through the block, but a good dig comes through for Morey. And now Loras struggling with that one. Over to the far side, just over the block, but it's handled nicely by the Firebirds. Off the block this time from Hendricks. Can't get it to fall. It's one over the block again for the Duhawks. Back over to the far side, and it's Hendricks again. Didn't get the first one through, gets the second one through for the kill to give a lead now to the Firebirds.
Absolutely beautiful swing there. Great setup by Morey.
And it will be Schweitzer to serve again. Schweitzer, right-handed serve, and that one goes too far to the right. And that will even it up at 4. A little bit of trouble with the serve so far, but the offense looks like it's starting to get a rhythm for the Firebirds.
Absolutely, but missed serves can throw you out of rhythm as equally as fast as you get into a rhythm. So got to be able to get some of these serves in play.
High jump serve from Mayotte, and that one, I think it was touched by Hendricks regardless, so that one will be a point and an ace for the Duhawks hitter.
Mayotte leading the CCIW right now, and aces percent ranked 26th in the country among individual players. Truly one of the best in Division III.
Not much for the defense there, but a miscue on the side of the Duhawks gives the point right back over to the Firebirds, so we're even back up at 5. So it'll now be number 13 and Heiss to serve. And we'll see how their defense sets up for what the Duhawks will do. Another jump serve, left-handed, coming over to the far side for the setup here. The triple block just gets over it, but that one quickly dumped over the net by Morey as he gets the point and gives Carthage another point and keeps the lead.
As we mentioned right before this actually got started, Morey, the 6'7" setter, being an offensive weapon up front as well.
Without a doubt, coming over to the near side as this one ends up right in the middle. Nice dive to keep that one alive for Duhawks, and then that one ends up off a player and out, so ties the game up at 6.
That's a great swing right there for the Duhawks, tying the game up. Both teams just struggling to gain momentum here early.
So now with the serve, that one goes out of bounds. And it'll be 7-6 for the Firebirds, and now it'll be Owen Hendricks to serve. Hendricks, the right-handed jump serve over to the far corner. That one quickly going out. I did not think it hit the block. Greg Sheedle seemed to think that it did, but it did not, so that'll be Firebirds' point. 8-6 now the lead.
And Craig Shield just got under that one a little bit too much, got it over the block, just couldn't get it to snap down in play.
Hendricks now, right-handed serve from the near side. That one goes right into the middle of the court. Back over was Kreitschild. Couldn't get anything there. That one off the block for the kill for Owen Otto.
Great read there by Owen Otto, seeing that block come up a little too early, and rather than taking a full swing at it, forcing it down, you can see he almost pushed it into just above their elbows. Nothing able to be done for the Duhawks.
Hendricks keeping this serve going. This one a really tough return on the serve, and they're able to get the point. It looked like they were going to have to struggle just getting it back over offensively for the Duhawks, but instead it turns into fortune.
That was a great effort there for Zach Nolan. Tried to get the pancake under it for the save, just not quite enough time. Kreitschild
again sends this one over to the near side, handled by Hendricks, joust at the net, and it's going to be won by the Duhawks. I thought that was going down on the other side, but didn't see if maybe there was a call for the touch of the net. Either way, Duhawks managed to get the point.
I think it came off the left hand of Maury and down on the Carthage side there.
Either way, they answer back quickly right off of that serve to make the lead 10-8.
That's what's been a great part of this Carthage team this year is they may not hit the hardest, but they make the smart decisions and force quick sideouts. You don't see many teams go on big runs against them.
Without a doubt. Michael Yem now subbed in to serve here. Jump serve over to the near side. Barely handled. Up into the air. Have to run for it. They're able to get to it, but can't hit it back towards the net. And nobody's able to get a third hit on that one. So the Firebirds, unfortunately, not able to get anything off of having their server come in.
That was a great swing off the bank. I believe it was Kreitschild.
And he's one of those players we were talking about, one of only two on their team that has triple digit, in kills. As this one comes over to the far side, and a quick answer back from Owen Otto to give the ball right back to the Firebirds for the serve. As that'll be Maury, who started us off earlier in this set with his first serve, now returns, sends it over with the right hand. As they look to come on the near side, that one quickly over the triple block from Mayotte.
Neither side able to build up much of a rally here in set number one. Haven't seen much of a lead gap grow either way.
And that's sort of how it went the last time these two teams played too. None of the games were really separated by many points, as they're a point for the Duhawks again to tie this game up at 11. It was 25-22, 25-23, 25-22 for the three sets that Carthage did win last time.
I believe that block there was Rothermel.
One of their leading blockers, and this time the kill gets through from Otto.
I believe they called it out of bounds,
Oh, I
actually.
thought it touched somebody there, so it'll be point for Duhawks again. Tried to go for that line shot, just didn't quite get it. Brainerd on the serve again, sends this one over towards the middle. As now we come back over to Otto, he gets it over the net. That one a little bit not controlled, but they're able to get the double block instead. That was Otto and Schweitzer combining for that one.
And the blocking at the net, something Coach Kiekever has stressed all year, something they need to get better at. He's often said they're not quite as concrete on their blocks as he'd like them to be. Looks pretty solid there, though.
Control this time over to the near side. Going through the angle was Heiss for another point for the Firebirds, putting them back in a lead. As this time from the far side, diving save on that serve off the triple block. Ends up back in front over to the far side. Nice little tip over the block by Hendricks, still controlled by the Duhawks. Over the triple block once again. Set now over to the far side. This time he's going to go for the far corner and just gets it to land in for Owen Hendricks. What a play.
What a heads-up play to find that far sideline there. Go across shot on a dump. But how about the heads-up play by Owen Otto on the dig there? That's not an easy play when you got one of the best hitters in the country taking that swing.
That one off the block, so that'll be point for the Duhawks as it went out off of it. So 14-13. There, that time the block was there. Unfortunately, it tooled off and out of bounds. So this one goes over to the far side, and we have another serve that misses the mark. So point back to the Firebirds as we're getting close here to the middle of this set.
Fifth service error combined between these two squads so far.
And now it'll be Devin O'Callahan coming on.
Callahan has been electric in the back row the last few weeks for Carthage.
As that one, he's not even going to get a chance to help out much there. Not quite able to get the dig on that one was Maurice. It'll go right back over for the Duhawks.
And again, like you mentioned, this is a lot of what we saw in the previous matchup, just back and forth, nobody really gaining big ground, no big rallies, just back and forth, hard-hitting volleyball.
Exactly what you'd expect from two top teams as that one hits the net. A lot of service aces, though, today, that's for sure. Gets the lead back to 2 for the Firebirds.
Yeah, and I think we'll see that kind of settle down as the game goes on. A game like this where these two teams, they know they're at the top in the conference. They know what this game has, national implications.
As there, that one will hit off, and that'll be an ace for the Firebirds. 17-14 their lead now, as there will be our first time out of the game taken by Loras, as this is the largest lead that we've seen so far in this one, Justin.
Yeah, absolutely, just incredible serve there. Loras just kind of misread it on the seams, unable to make anything of it. Carthage now out to a pretty solid advantage as we approach the later portion of this first set.
You've seen some of the good plays here that we've seen already in set number 1. There, the good kill from the side of the Duhawks. And then that Ben Heiss left-handed cross-court kill that he's had a couple of already. And then that great play from Hendricks to find that corner.
It's one of the things Coach Kiekever's talked about too, is how efficient his guys are at being able to hit cross shots, but also be able to just put it through the floor on the line. If you can sprinkle in that line shot every now and then, the block has no idea what's coming.
Exactly.
And you can't line up to defend both very well, so you have to kind of pick one and hope it happens to be that one.
For sure. High volume offense is what the Firebirds have right now too. That's something when you just look at the numbers and how they bear out, especially when you compare it to another top-end team like you have on the other side for Loras. They have a lot more attacks, almost 400 more compared to Loras. But not having volume's not necessarily a bad thing when you have the players that the Firebirds do.
Absolutely, it's two very different strategies here. To compare it to almost two different styles of baseball pitchers. You got a guy who can throw 100 miles an hour, and that's all he needs. Carthage is more the guy he's got a mid-90s fastball, he's got a curveball, he's got a knuckleball. He can move it all different ways, and it's equally as effective.
And there's one of those different ways. Cholowinski with the middle hit right down on that just quick. When you have that with your setter and your middle hitter, that can be a dangerous attack too. Not always the outside guys need to get it done.
Exactly, and we see it from the pick, we see it from the middle. And the beauty of a lot of these guys on this Carthage squad is they're kind of Swiss Army knife guys in themselves. They can hit line, they can hit cross, they can put it through the floor straight down, they can hit off the pick, they can defend. And that really kind of builds up to where they may not be the hardest hitting team, they may not be the best serving team, but they are solid enough in everything to be competitive against everyone.
And that's why they're one of the top 5 teams in the Division 3 is that one. We're seeing what the call was there.
I believe they called it out Carthage ball. Loras arguing that it came down and hit Heiss.
Yeah, that's what I was trying to tell. That's
but
why
I think the R1 is saying it came over the net outside the antenna, so it doesn't matter where it lands.
And he's going to have a better, especially from the angle where we have in our booth, it's so hard to tell compared to where the antenna is if that was in or out. Either way, that's going to be, that idea that was there for Kreischild was great. The execution was not.
Absolutely. He saw that he had wide open space right at the 10-foot line at the cross shot, went for it on a roll and just not quite enough power on it.
which just grows the lead here for the Firebirds. That one off the block, handled nicely. Now back over to the far side. Hendricks off the block will get the point and make it now 22-14. And this lead has now absolutely ballooned for the Firebirds.
Absolutely. They have taken full advantage of a couple of Loras mistakes here in set number 1. Need to close the door now that they're in the red zone.
Heiss with the high jump serve. That one high up into the air, handled by the libero, but that one's off the block, so they're going to have to try again. This time over to the far side. Good cross angle kill coming for number 22 in Kreischild. Makes up for his mistake earlier, but they have a big lead they've got to try and cut into, 22-25, or 22-15, excuse me, for the Firebirds.
Exactly. Kreischild coming in today, their number 2 hitter overall, 133 kills, hitting 264 on the year. So he's definitely kind of the other end of that double-edged sword of him and Mayock.
Serve over. Ooh, with a little bit miscue there off of the second hit. They're able to at least get it over for the Firebirds. Cross court again, handled this time nicely, quickly down. That one's going to be dug out, but now another offensive opportunity for the Firebirds, and from the back line, it's Owen Otto as he will get the kill and make it 23-15.
What great decision making there, Ryan Morey. He goes to Cholowinski in the middle. Loras makes an incredible save to keep the play alive. And where it's set up, he's in position where he could easily go back to Cholowinski again. Instead, he goes to the Bick, and they get the kill.
Great use of Morey of being able to set multiple players and making sure to see what he's looking at before he gets that set off. As that serve up again, hard to be handled, has to just be pushed over, and it's out, but they're saying off the block. So the corner judge over here on the near side, at first he was signaling out, and then he saw what the R1 was doing and changed the call. So it's 23-16. But that's okay. It still has not been easy for Loras. This one to the near side, that one off the net and out. Not a bad idea from Heiss, just couldn't get it to fall in play.
Yeah, and I think if I'm Coach Kiekefer there, I want Morey putting that a little bit closer to net, not a whole lot more, just a couple of inches closer to net. Give Heiss that a little bit more time to approach.
A little more of an angle to work with,
exactly.
Too. As this one comes over to the far side, and that one's not going to be handled by anybody. Owen Otto with the kill to bring this 1-2 set point, 24-17.
Going to come in to take the serve.
Came in last time, had a pretty good serve. Unfortunately, though, they weren't able to follow up with it on the defensive side.
Yeah, we've seen that a lot on both sides where the serve doesn't last overly long, minus that one long run for the Firebirds.
As there's a one off the tape for Yem. This one comes over to the far side, and that one just getting a piece of it with the block was Schweitzer. I didn't think he was, and that will end set number 1, 25-17 for the Firebirds.
The timing on that for Schweitzer was both incredible and incredibly lucky.
Yeah.
I think any more or less power on that swing from, I believe that swing was Brainerd, might have been Mayotte there at the end. Any more or less power on that, and that doesn't hit his hand that way.
Yeah.
Incredible play, though, for Schweitzer. An incredible first set for the Firebirds.
Also just reaction timing, too, to just put the hand out there and
Absolutely.
just try and get a piece of it. But this for how this set started, it did not finish the way that we thought it was going to go, where it was really back and forth between these two teams. Loras, honestly, it was mostly miscues from them, but miscues can put you down as 1 set to nothing.
Exactly. And when you're playing a team as good as Carthage or as good as Loras, the mistakes hurt that much more. And so you just can't afford to make too many of those in a single set and in a single match. And the Duhawks just made 1 or 2 too many, and Carthage did a great job taking advantage of it.
And not to mention that the Firebirds here, their offense has already started to really kick it into gear as well. Multiple players been getting involved on the attack, making the difference too.
Sounds good, yeah.
So we look at the highlights here of some of those plays by the Firebirds. As we got a little bit of time here in between, so we could take a quick little break and we'll be back. And we welcome you back here to Tarble Arena. It's Chris LoBosco here alongside Justin Coorigan as we get ready for set number 2. 25-17, the Firebirds took down the Duhawks in set number 1, and being led by the attack of Owen Otto and Owen Hendricks, and then Heiss and Cholowinski both had 2 kills for them, 4 for Hendricks and Otto. So a pretty spread out attack that you're having from the Firebirds there in set number 1.
Yeah, and honestly, you look at Loras, they're actually quite spread out too as well. Passy 3 kills, Kreischild 3 kills, Mayotte 4. So they're spreading the wealth out offensively, almost uncharacteristically as well here.
So we'll see if that ends up changing here as we go into set number 2, as teams have switched sides, of course. So now you'll have the Duhawks here on the left side. On the right, it will be the Firebirds. And to start off with that serve, I believe that was number 6 in Oberfell, and that one goes out of bounds on the far side, so not a bad idea from the Firebirds, just did not execute.
Yeah, tried to go line shot again and just been missing on that a little bit too much lately.
Have to get that one down as that serve over again, and this time from the middle, it was number 14 in Hudson Schweitzer, who has done both well offensively and defensively, at least early on. So now to serve, it will be Ryan Morey. Morey starting off to serve like he did last time. Sends this one to the near side. Over the 10-foot line for that jump. I think that one might have hit one of the beams there, but either way, controlled nicely by the Firebirds. And this one coming back over to Otto. Didn't get it the first time, gets his second opportunity, and makes this one a 2-1 game.
And again, just absolutely phenomenal decision-making so far today by Ryan Morey. On that one, his feet were facing the net when he started. So basically, he could have gone anywhere, and the defense had no time to react.
Speaking of reacting well, Nolan with the dig there to keep this one alive for the Firebirds. And then this one out of bounds, and they're going to call it for Duhawks. And you see the Firebirds players, they thought that was their point, but instead we're tied 2-2.
Interesting thing here, the right line judge came over towards the R1, and the R1 sent him back. Now the R2 coming to the podium. As Coach Kiefer right away sent his captain to the net. Now the Firebirds heading towards the bench as they discuss this.
Probably going to try and make sure they stay calm too, because yeah, that probably might get switched here with the R1 and R2 talking, but either way, don't let it get you bent out of shape when you've already dominated in one set. Let yourselves come back and handle this next serve if that's what ends up happening. This has been a long conversation here. And they will award the point to the Firebirds, as we are about to get a replay here now, too. Yeah, that
came off the hand last of Brainerd.
That was a good discussion by the R1 and the R2 to get the call right here and award the point to the Firebirds.
Absolutely, and a great call from the right line judge right off the bat. He was very firm. The flag came up, and then as soon as the call was wrong, he started to head towards the podium. The R1, as he should, said, hey, stay back here. We'll figure this out. We'll call you if we need you.
Well, unfortunately, the Firebirds gift it right back.
Normally I like to call that a ball don't lie, but we saw the replay. That's,
as the great Rasheed Wallace once said, yeah, I wouldn't say that was one of those moments, though, for sure. That was just a gift, I think. Either way, this one comes over to the near side, up high into the air here on the set, and that went off the tape. I think that's going to be point for the Duhawks, as that one, the defense was there, but I think he hit it into the tape. It didn't matter.
yeah, just not a great swing. Probably should have tried to dump that ball over a little bit more conservatively.
It's all right, though. They go right back to work here. Is that one? There's the dump you were talking about earlier, right over the top from Otto, who has been pretty hot here to start this one.
Absolutely, and a beautiful roll shot there. Just curved that hand back, took it off the end of his hand, right at the wrist bone, put a nice spin on it.
But a nice serve over too did Owen Otto, as this one hits off the block. Now controlled here. Morey setting it over to the far side, and that one eventually going to end up back into the air on the near side. As we'll see what Maury does here. Goes right down the middle, and it's Otto. Point Firebirds from behind that 10-foot line, helping keep his serve going.
And Owen Otto from the BIC this year has been electric all season long. But credit the Dewhawks for keeping that play alive.
Yeah.
That was an incredible defensive effort. Just didn't pay off.
Little joust at the net, comes back over to the Dewhawks though. They control off the block there, and that one ends up out of bounds. So that will be a point back over to the Dewhawks. 4-5, they're back to within 1.
Firebirds tried to go a triple block there on Mayotte. Just didn't get the timing quite right. He bounced it right off the top.
Zakowicz sending that serve over. One off the block again. Oh, with the foot, he was able to get that one over. They're not able to score on it. It goes off of Zach Nolan, but what a play to even just keep that alive.
We've seen Loras make a couple plays like that tonight. This was one for Carthage that I'm baffled as how they made it work. Unfortunately, couldn't get the point on it.
Ties this one up at 5, and miscommunication there between, I believe that was Nolan, and I think that might have been Hendricks on who was going to handle that serve.
Yeah, just miscommunication on who had the seam covered in serve receive. Got to be a little more talkative, that's all.
Yeah, and normally you acquiesce to Nolan, but just it's how it goes sometimes. As this one comes over to the near side, and Hendricks trying to make up for his mistake, and he does, and ties the game up at 6.
Very similar to how we saw set 1 start, just back and forth, not a huge lead gain on either side.
Yeah, very similar. We also have coming in to serve as Schweitzer as he makes his rotation to the back line. This one back up into the air, controlled by Loras over the block. Set up for Maury, back from the 10-foot line again. It looked like it was Otto, and he does get that one in, 7-6. I couldn't quite tell if it was in or not, but it was. So back in front is Carthage.
Absolutely beautiful swing there from Otto, once again off the BIC. Just been automatic.
So Schweitzer, right-handed serve, right into the net though. So that lead they could have started growing goes away again as we're tied back up at 7 here in set number 2.
4th service error on the day for the Firebirds, 4 for Loras.
So pretty even on that, and well, there's the 5th. This time it was Mayotte was the one with sending that one right into the net, just like he saw Schweitzer do.
Once again, a back and forth that just into the nets, not great swings. It's contagious.
Jump serves are always great, but they do have some risk always. Heiss with his jump serve gets that one over nicely. Comes to the near side, and I heard a whistle here. Didn't see what the R2's call was, but either way, it looks like that was a Loras point.
Believe he called in the net. Not sure who it was on.
I didn't see who it was either.
Guessing Cholowinski?
Maybe,
but
yeah.
I'd have to go back and look at it. Didn't see a lot of movement on the net either. Which
Yeah, I didn't
usually
either.
You see it bouncing up and down after a play like that.
Unless somebody stepped underneath, which could have been what it was too. I just didn't see his call. Either way, this one's over the net. Controlled now, right over to the near side. The fake and then the kill from Hendricks. Hendricks on the near side gets the Firebirds back out in front.
That play has been so lethal for Carthage. It's a low set that you have to react for Cholowinski's potential swing. He takes a fake swing at it, and Hendricks just puts it through the floor.
And now Hendricks heads back for the serve. See if he can help grow this lead. Has a really good jump serve and sends this one to the near side. And there's the good old caster's curse as he sends that one out just past that back line.
People don't think that's real, but it is very real.
It is 100% real. It is a real thing. Maybe it's anecdotal for every time that it's ever happened to me, but to me it's real. Either way, this one to the near side, that one off the block, and it falls in the court. Just not quite enough juice to get that one out the back line.
Early lead for Loras. Haven't seen, I believe this is their first lead since maybe the first couple points of the set.
Yeah. So we'll see if they can maintain a lead or if the Firebirds can come back. Oh, that one doing some work with Cholowinski to even get that across the net. It was a little bit off on the timing as this one's bumped up into the air. This one's sent off the block by Hendricks. That one Stays in, and then the shot down, but it goes off the block and will be points for the Firebirds. Ties it back up at 10. I couldn't tell if which side of the net it was on from Dzakowicz's hit.
Firebirds bench absolutely loving that play. How about the effort from Aiden Polokin, the Loras libero, going into the table, almost taking out Carthage women's volleyball libero Jenna Damon in the process.
Oh, jeez. That's what the liberos do. They will just dive and put themselves on the line. And this one tipped over the net. Now controlled here. Maury to the far side, swinging and hitting that one. It's a kill for Heiss, as that one was called before it even hit the ground. 11-10 now for the Firebirds.
Once again, Carthage back up front, back and forth these two go. Absolute seesaw of momentum today.
Now you have your serve ace in Yem. Sends this one right into the net. Not having it work for him today. He's had a couple of really good serves that there's just been good plays on the other end, and now he just sends one into the net himself.
Starting to get a spread of serves going low into the net, too. We've had a couple on both sides today where they're hitting, as my old coach would have said, they wouldn't have made it over a tennis net.
Yeah, right, exactly. So this time it's Oberfeld gets the serve over. This one far into the back line, has to be sent forward. Just sent across to try and live for another play, as this dig comes all the way back onto the side for Loras. And then right in the middle, it is Bo Brainerd to get the kill and make it 12-11.
Brainerd hopping in the kill column, his first on the day.
Sent back into the middle this time for Hendricks, and he's doing it from all over the floor.
Owen Hendricks is absolutely fired up right now.
Otto and Hendricks, the leaders right now, 9 and 6 kills for the two of them. Otto with the 9. This one comes right into the middle, and that one goes out. I don't think it hit the block either. So that'll be Firebirds' point again, 13-12. They're staying in front here, but we have a lot closer of a game this time.
Absolutely, but this is around the point where they started to pull away in set number 1. I believe it was 14-13 when that rally started.
Let's see if that happens again here. Off the block, solo block, Owen Otto to make it 14-12. So now we finally have a lead that's not 1 point. And Loras took a timeout around this time last time too, and then the lead just exploded for the Firebirds.
Yeah, the timeout didn't pay off for him last set, but I still think this is a really good time to call timeout. Momentum, you could feel it starting to go Carthage's way once again. And you don't want your guys thinking, oh, this is where things happen. This is where everything went wrong last time.
And don't let the Firebirds crowd get into it either, because they do get into it once that lead really starts to grow. As you can see there was the play where it was off the foot, and even though it ended up not being a point for the Firebirds, just watching it again, it's just amazing they were able to get it over the net. And then you see some of the plays here by Owen Hendricks and Otto. They have been combining here for some great ones, and then some great blocks too, Cholowinski and Otto in the middle.
Loras has still, once again, spread their offense a lot more than I was anticipating today. 5 kills for Mayotte in the lead, but 5 total players registering kills so far through essentially a set and a half.
And they have some players that have decently high kill counts. They're just not triple digits, right? You've got Brainerd, who's had 79 coming into today's game, 70 for Connor Giral, but that's where it really drops off after that. They don't really have anybody after those two that normally get highly involved in getting kills on their team.
And I think that's a credit to Carthage's defense today, too. They've kept Mayotte at bay. They've kept Kreischel and Brainerd at bay for the most part.
As they will send this one over the net on that serve. So it will be back to a 1-point game here. Just a little bit too much time there thinking about the serve maybe too. And now Bo Brainerd will be back to serve. The low throw over, I think he was going for the knuckler there, did not get it and misses the back line.
That floater just had a little bit too much on it, hung up just a tad, finding that the wrong side of that service line.
As now you have the fake on the big jump serve by Otto. And now he'll come send that one forward was Hendricks. And then over on the far side, that one goes out. Firebirds point, able to get through the block but not stay in.
It was a really strong swing there. Just missed it a tad too much, a little too far out.
So Owen Otto, this time he will load into that one. As that one just up into the air, now to the near side. Hendricks off the block, controlled though. Oh, but right at the net, that was a free opportunity for Loras, but they're not able to capitalize as that one set over to the far side, the double block. As that was trying to see who the two were. I saw Schweitzer was one.
Heiss was the other one.
That was Heiss. I thought it was, I just couldn't quite see the number. Those two combine, and now the lead growing in the middle of the set once again for the Firebirds, 17-13.
I think if this point goes Carthage, you might see a timeout here from the Loras bench.
Morey to the near side for Hendricks, 18-13. And
Oh, he's gonna let him play on.
I saw
Stood
one.
up, and I was kind of thinking maybe.
Yeah, I thought so too. I thought you were
maybe
going to be
I need
right.
go buy a lotto ticket, but
You could still buy the lotto ticket. Can always be lucky. As that one's more skill than luck in the middle to make this a 19-13 game for the Firebirds.
I was 1 point off. Maybe a cheap lotto ticket. I
Yeah,
don't know if I'd go Mega Million, but like
little lotto or
little
whatever they
scratch
call
off.
it,
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
Yeah. Either way, 19-13 the lead for the Firebirds. They're starting to look really good here. They've been in control of this game now as we've hit the middle portions of these sets.
Absolutely. And the big thing I've taken away is they're not panicking at all when it's close back and forth. And even when Loras has been able to pull ahead a couple times, they're staying within themselves, within their offense, finding those seams, covering the seams on the defensive end. And that's something that Carthage has done really well all year is the defensive back line has been solid, and we're seeing it again today.
And so far, this has been a good bounce back for them from the game they just had the other day, where a tough loss on an opponent ranked lower than them that they want to feel like they should be.
Absolutely. Talking to Coach Kike for going into this three-game stretch, for number 10 Aurora on the road, number 19 North Central on the road, and then have to come home and face number 13 Loras. Obviously not easy, but you have to take at least 2 of the 3.
Right.
And they seem to be well aware of that and not shying away from that challenge today after dropping a heartbreaking 5-set loss to North Central in Naperville on Wednesday.
Not letting it get to him, that is for sure. And Owen Otto will send this jump serve over right into the middle, controlled, and now to the far side, off the block, just not able to get from behind it though, was Morey to try and keep that one alive. So point over to the Duhawks, who kill some momentum that the Firebirds had started to gain. So another jump serve, this time from the far side, and oh, I think he ended up on the line when he jumped. So point to the Firebirds.
That is not something you see called very often
Very
at this level
rare.
of volleyball. I don't think I've seen it once this season, if not even last season.
Very rare that you see somebody get close enough to even get that called, though, too. Normally, when you're doing a high jump serve like that, you give yourself extra space behind the line. As that one up into the air onto the far side off the serve, controlled nicely. Oh, not a bad set that was done by Hendricks for Heiss. Heiss just couldn't get it over the block, and it'll be point back over to the Duhawks.
Great double block there for Loras. Closing the seam, forcing it back inside. That could have easily been a tool kill with where it was. And Mayotte, a little quick to the jump there as his teammates are still substituting. False start offense, 5-yard penalty, repeat first down. I got my sports right.
Yeah.
Football season will be here soon.
Yeah, it's a year-round thing, basically, at this point anyway. This one comes over to the middle on the kill. And I believe that was number 13 in Heiss, so makes up for the one earlier to make it 21-15. 4 points away from taking set number 2 for the Firebirds.
I think Heist kind of gets overshadowed a bit with the two Owens being so potent in the offense, but he is equally as lethal and could be a top hitter on almost any team in the country.
Having him as a third option is not really a bad thing to have at all. Like you said, a lot of teams I think would take a player like Heist in a heartbeat, especially when you talk about having a lefty like that as well. Add some variety to what you have, as that one high over the block and out, as that will be now 23-15 Firebirds, 2 points away from taking set number 2 convincingly. Heist the lefty with the high jump serve again, this time towards the middle of the court. As that one bounces and down off of Nolan, could not quite get the dig there. Little in that in-between spot too.
Absolutely, a great swing from Mayotte off the bic. Don't often see Carthage die by the bic. Usually they live by the bic. Great swing there from one of the best hitters in the country. Hopefully swinging some momentum if you're a Loras fan.
I believe this is Ryan Floyd who came in here to serve that one. As this one from the near side, Owen Hendricks quells any momentum that could have been gained, and it's back to set point here, 24-16.
How about the back set there from Ryan Morey, going completely away from the court off the first pass, arch back completely, put that ball right where it needed to be. Set point for the Firebirds.
So now Hendricks. Oh, a little, maybe a little too amped from the crowd there, as he sends that one over to the near side, 24-17 now. Had a lot on it, unfortunately not on the mark.
Carthage having a lot of fun with that one too, as that one's in the net, and Carthage takes set number 2.
25-17. You never like to see it end on a service miscue like that, but I think for the crowd, they're happy because they kind of they tried to do the hurry up, clapping them a little too quickly. It worked out.
Never underestimate the crowd in Tarble Arena when the Firebirds men's volleyball team is on the court.
Without a doubt, see some highlights here, but we'll take a quick timeout, and we'll be back here with set number 3. We welcome you back here into Tarble Arena. It's Chris LoBosco alongside Justin Coorigan. As you can see, the team stats are up right now on the screen. And one of the big ones to point out here is for Loras College, 6% for their hitting percentage. Now, hitting percentages don't go super high. You're not going to see like 50% in volleyball, but 6%, that is a really telling stat for why things have been really tough for the visitors today. But for the Firebirds, it also means your defense is doing something right.
Absolutely. When Carthage is hitting at 36% on the other end, it explains where those runs come from late in the sets. Where those mistakes, when you add them on top of the fact that you also can't swing the ball or hit the ball well,
right,
that becomes a trouble. And the biggest telling thing is at the end of the set too, they were in the negative in hitting percentage for that set. And
wow.
They hit 15% in set 1. So a tough day on the offensive end as there's an ace to open set number 3.
Maury's going to be happy to start off the set the right way to try and finish this one off for the Firebirds. See if they can win this one in 3 straight sets. As Maury will send the serve over once again. This one floats right into the middle, and that one long. Good decision to let that one go, and we're seeing the Firebirds off to the best start we've seen them have here, at least in a set today.
Absolutely, and they are taking that momentum off of set number 2. And completely running with it here in these first 2 points.
And Maury's serve has been tough to handle for this Loras team. And now we'll have the left-handed shot going across from Heiss, still controlled from the back line there. Sending it over was Hendricks over to Otto. Otto just gets it over the net to let the defense live. And there, you give a lot of credit to their libero for Loras to just get over there in Oberfell. But that's a point for the Firebirds.
Actually, a very interesting change. Oberfell was in the lineup before, but I don't believe he was a libero those first 2 sets.
No, I don't think he was either.
I think he changed because it had been Pelican, who's now in a purple jersey. So we have a libero swap here in set number 3.
Not making much of a difference, though. In fact, it's been a little bit of a rougher go for them in the beginning of a set than they've had so far. It is 4-0 for the Firebirds. So we will continue to see the setter Ryan Maury send these float serves over that they have been trouble handling. Knuckled a little bit too far away that time to make it 4-1. He's got a pretty good knuckle serve, though, that Maury sends over.
Absolutely. The float serve it's dangerous. It's not as lethal as a jump can be, especially at this level, but it can throw the offense off enough to be effective.
And it can be difficult to handle sometimes without ball moving, depending on how you send it. Either way, the Firebirds answer right back, come right back onto the serve, and get Owen Otto to try and extend this lead as it's 5-1. Otto, the right-handed jump serve, that one controlled, right in the middle, keeping the ball alive. Maury sending it to the near side and just having to send it over with the right hand was Heiss. As this comes past the triple block and off of it and out, so tooled off the block for a 5-2 lead for the Firebirds as they give a point up over to Loras.
This is exactly what Loras needs after letting up that big run to start. Gotta claw your way back now. Can't let Carthage run away with this one early in set 3.
Zakowicz sends that one off the tape and over the net. Doesn't get much better than that on the serve. Much needed too for Loras.
Absolutely, gotta have those tape kills go your way. That could have easily been trouble, as that one's trouble, sailing out.
So for as much work as he did, he gave it right back. So back to a 3-point lead for the Firebirds. And now it'll be Schweitzer serving. As Schweitzer now sends that one over to the near side. Off the block, the single block from Cholowinski. Read that perfectly.
Cholowinski, haven't called his name a whole lot tonight, but effective there. Timing that perfectly, finding the open floor. 4-point lead for the Firebirds. Schweitzer sends that one far.
And Cholowinski, one of the top 2 on this team in blocks too. Him and Schweitzer, the 2 guys that lead the way in that category for this Firebirds team. on the season. So 7-4. Still a lead for the Firebirds. Maybe not a comfortable one. But when you're able to get a quick kill like that from Cholowinski, you might be able to grow that lead more than 4.
Cholowinski at 6'8", with, I would argue, probably a longer wingspan than 6'8". So quick on that arm swing, putting down a quick kill.
That one gets through.
Great up by Nolan.
And that one, a little bit of miscommunication there. Just had to be sent over by Onato. Comes back over to the near side, off the tape. Rolled there for a second, and I think we had net violation that time. And that was just unlucky on the side of the Firebirds. That ball rolled on the tape like that and just really caused for Nolan to have to kind of go out of control to even have a chance.
Yeah, and he made a great effort going at it. I think he just, as he came down and kind of finished making the play, that left foot went under the line, which can't happen if you're involved in the play directly. And that left shoulder kind of caught the low tape.
Yeah.
Just enough for the R2 to blow the whistle.
And that's going to get called every time, unfortunately. And this one's going to get sent over the net. Well, nope, it won't get sent over the net. It'll hit the net. So the point comes right back. 9-5, excuse me, for the Firebirds now. Is a little bit of substitution coming through here as Oberfeld makes his way back on into that back line for Loras. And then we also have a substitution here up in front. I believe that is Emmerich who's coming into play. As that serve right back over to Loras it will go as Hendricks sent that one right into the net.
That is now the combined 21st service error we've seen tonight between the two teams. 10 for Loras, 11 for Carthage now.
If you're making as many as the opponent is, it's not quite as bad of a thing, but that is quite a few for sure. As that one, a misplay on the ball is Brainerd's success as it comes right to him and he jumps up and sends that one down to make this a 9-7 game. So the lead closing here for Loras.
Brainerd's been really effective in the middle tonight. Again, not one that we were kind of thinking about coming in, but even there, a nice ball back up to keep the offense going.
Let's see what they can do here now as this one comes off the net on the far side. Oh, just stayed on the Firebird side off the block. That one off the block again by Otto, and this time right down the middle, it's Cholowinski. 10-7.
And again, the wingspan and the versatility of Cholowinski's swing. Earlier plays, you're seeing him come across, that hand is low near the shoulder. It's a quick, fast swing. This one, the full wingspan is in play, absolutely just powering it through the line.
Now we'll see if Yem can send a power serve over. Manages to get that one and not handled by the libero in Oberfeld. So that will be the ace for Yem.
Yem has been waiting patiently for a serve to go his way all night long.
He at least gets one, but now can he get two? Finally gets to do his job here as the service ace, and he sends that one a little long.
He almost got that back line to bite on it. That was a serve where you are trying to confuse that back line and then get it to drop in if they let it go.
Still got one ace at the very least, keeps Carthage out in front, 11-8 here.
And again, that serve, that style, you're putting it almost eye level on them, so they have to make an uneven set to keep the play alive, or they have to let it go and hope it goes out.
Have to make that decision for sure. Pelican serve, controlled right now by Loras off the triple block. That one high into the air, set right into the middle. Double block keeps it on the Loras side. They try from the middle this time, and now the offense will get to going here, but the dump instead, and they keep it alive for Loras. Maury back over to the far side.
Now they're going to say it's down.
It was down, okay.
That was a very late call.
Very late, yeah.
The Loras bench not happy. The Loras team on the court not happy. Captain now talking to the R1. Head coach talking to the R2. Dylan Russ is trying to figure out why that call was so late. I mean, that was almost two whole volleys back and forth between the two sides before the whistle blew on that.
And that was, from our angle, we can't tell from where we are if that was down or not. From our angle, it kind of looked like it was close. but they didn't blow the whistle right away. So you keep going.
No replay review at this level. So we play on Carthage ball.
And Maury now back to serve. And that one, oh, he gets it off the tape, comes right back, and that will be the point for Heiss. Just landed beautifully in front of him to put down for the point.
Carthage forces Loras to call a timeout, 13-8. Absolutely incredible couple of points we've seen here from Carthage.
Yeah, those last two especially, I mean, really benefiting on mistakes, it seems like, from Loras as well, but also creating their own opportunities out of it, too.
Absolutely, and also forcing some of those mistakes with where they're placing the ball, where their serves are going. That one almost got a tape ace of their own. Very well played by Loras, but couldn't translate it into points on the offensive end. As we see there, just little blocks, little tips, catching Loras out of position all night long. Here's the ace from Yem.
That was a really good ace, too.
And this one here, the dump from Maury off a great ball from Zach Nolan. We don't mention Zach Nolan a whole lot, but from the libero position, he has been super effective all season long and really been a solid piece on that back line.
Without a doubt. I mean, you just look at his overall season statistics. I mean, just as a setter himself, 598 assists he came into the game, or into today with. And then even just as an attacker, I mean, having 22 kills as a setter for something that you don't do very often, that's still not bad. Means you're timely too with your attacks as well, because as a setter, you don't want to have the tendency of being able to be predictable with your dump. So Maury sends that floater over again, controlled, and that one, a dump on the other end.
Just as you were saying, well timed, doesn't give it away. Absolutely beautiful dump.
Zakowicz, a pretty good setter as well on the other end for Loras. Haven't said his name a lot today, but that's because setters, you don't necessarily always say their name a lot. And they give the point right back, though. So all that work goes out the window, and it's 14-9, 5-point game.
And that's where we've seen Loras has struggled a bit more than Carthage on utilizing Carthage's mistakes. Carthage has not played perfect volleyball tonight, as that one lands perfectly inside for Owen Automatic Otto.
Great game for Otto so far today. He has been leading the way in kills, and now gets that ace. As there from the 10-foot line, and Otto not able to handle the dig, though, unfortunately, just a little bit out of position.
Can't expect him to be automatic on every play, but
right.
I guess it takes out the nickname automatic.
You know what, for a guy his size, with where that was, it's a harder ball for him to get because he's a taller guy. So
Absolutely.
we'll give him a little leeway on that one. And Loras will give a little more leeway to Carthage, not able to handle that slightly tipped ball, and now it's 16-10 for the Firebirds.
Owen Otto at 6'3". I can totally understand. Maybe not back row is especially at all times. I was 6 foot and I hated playing the back row because I felt too tall to be back there. So at 6'3", I can't even imagine that extra couple inches to have to deal with.
As that one, that was just a miscue, a really good kill that Otto couldn't handle as well. They've been sort of targeting him in there in the back line for these last couple of points that Loras has been able to get this back to a 5-point game.
Good mindfulness there from Devin O'Callahan, too. Sliding a little early so we didn't go full steam into the bleachers.
Is there another one sent right at Otto, so just trying to wear him down if they can. But will it be too little too late? Heiss's opportunity gets dug out, which leads to the kill for Loras, 16-12. They're back within 4.
Have to start wondering here, if this play goes Loras' way, does Coach Kiekefer burn a timeout to kill the momentum?
It's Mayon who's serving from the back line. High jump serve. Spins up into the air over to the far side, and Hendricks kills the momentum to make it 17-12. So that timeout might not be needed now. Hendricks able to get the Firebirds back on the right track here and allow Heiss to come back and send this serve over.
Seen Heiss go on some serving runs here today. That one won't do it.
It's almost as if they knew we were going to say that he's had some runs.
Exactly. I won't say broadcaster's jinx on that one because I was in the process
Right.
of saying it. I didn't get the sentence out in time. Maybe he heard me from up here just talking.
Right, exactly. Let's see here. We've got now serving, I believe that is number 29 in Floyd, sending that serve over. As this comes over to the far side, just tipping that one over was Hendricks. Allows for the opportunity, though, for Loras. Fake on the far side for the near side shot as that one ends up a joust at the net. Now back onto the Firebird side, and now quickly sent down by Ice. He's the one who got the joust back up into the air to give them the opportunity, too. Oh, but they called it for Loras. Didn't see the call. If they called, did they call him for a lift, maybe?
They called it out of bounds, I
No, it
believe.
was out of bounds.
I think
Okay.
Coach Kike was trying to argue a touch, but to no success. Loras back within 3.
A lead that had ballooned starting to shrink again as this one, another point for Loras, 15-17. As now you have the timeout taken by the Firebirds.
It's a well-timed timeout, but credit Loras for building this momentum and building back into this game. They appeared to be on the ropes, fought their way back, now down within 2. Carthage takes their first timeout of the entire match.
And when you see the lead sort of shrink the way that it did when it had gotten up to 5-6 points, not a bad time to take a timeout. But I think for the Firebirds, you still are up 2-0. No need to panic. Just calm yourselves down and make sure that you are. Really, it's been the first hit that's been their problem here these last few points, too. They really haven't had great control to have good opportunities.
Absolutely. Got to clean up serve receipt a little bit. Got to clean up that first dig. Get that ball back to where Maury can make a play on it. Get it to one of the weapons across the entire court. Just got to clean up those mistakes that you're seeing. And this is credit to Loras. These last 6 or 7 points, they've taken care of the mistakes and taken advantage of mistakes that they weren't doing in the first 2 sets.
And you had a couple of odd plays right at the net, too, that have also gone their way. So a little bit of luck on their side here, too, I think has helped them out a little, too. Just some of those, I mean, that one that kind of rolls on the tape there and comes off weird. I mean, you're not always going to be able to play those perfectly.
Volleyball gods favor you at that moment.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. So another serve sent over, this time to the far side, but this for a play right in the middle. Kept up nicely in the air, has to just be sent back over. And from the 10-foot line, it's Owen Otto. Just when you need somebody to quell momentum on the other end, Otto is there to make that happen.
10th kill of the day for Otto, tied for the most on the Carthage side with Hendricks. 2 of them combined 42 attempts. Hendricks on the day hitting 476. Correction, 41 attempts. Otto hitting 400 on the day.
It's a pretty good average. You'll take that, I think, if you are the Firebirds. As this one comes back onto their side as they control, sent over to the far side. Kept alive. Oh, that hit off of the beam and goes out. The ceiling coming into play and helping the Firebirds by that ball coming down a lot quicker than Loras anticipated. Makes it 19-15.
This low ceiling often helps Carthage almost as much as the crowd does when it comes to home court advantage. Not an easy one to play with.
Without a doubt, is this one from the 10-foot line. Good kill coming through for Mayotte to make it 19-16. They have not let this one in the middle of the set get away from them like they had the previous 2. They're at least within striking distance of the Firebirds.
Absolutely. You start to see Carthage appear to be pulling away like the previous 2 sets, and they've really done a good job of battling back here. That one up in the rafters, but misses. Play on.
And that one, another kill coming through. Not able to get the dig was Heiss. So the offense starting to come alive for Loras here in set number 3. And now it'll be Kreischild. Kreischild to serve this one. High jump serve with the left hand. That one's inbounds and now sent through the middle. Controlled by the offensive Loras. Going towards the back line. A little long from Nolan. But then there was the opportunity, and I believe they're calling that one hit the antenna. Thought I saw that signal. Either way, it doesn't matter. It is point for Carthage, 20-17, 3-point game.
And that just seemed like a costly, unnecessary mistake there. Just kind of a shank off what should have been an easy pass.
Yeah. But for the Firebirds, they will take that mistake, keeps them out in front, but they make up for it, does Loras on this next opportunity. Get it back to within 2, 20-18. And I believe they're subbing.
What's favorable for Carthage right now is you can go point for point the rest of the way. You just can't let Loras build a small little run here late.
And Peliquin will be the one coming in here to try and see if they can go on a little bit of a run to try and get this back even. Peliquin from the near side sends the jump serve over. This one off the block for Owen Otto. Easy kill for him there, 21-18.
Still a timeout to burn for Loras. Have to think be coming in the next point or two just to try and shut the door.
And there it is. Just as you were talking about it, timeout from Loras. They want to try and see if they can keep this one going, if they can force a fourth set. They're going to have to make up the few points that they're behind, as we will now take a look at some of the kills there. That one from the 10-foot line, beautiful from the Firebirds. As their attack has been working really well. That quick set too there, that was a really good quick set.
Absolutely, that's a great ball by the setter there, because that was not a great pass to set him up. He had to come way out past the 10-foot line, but put that ball right where he needed to for the quick swing off the middle.
So 21-18 the score for the number 4 ranked Carthage Firebirds over the Loras Duhawks, who are ranked 12th. So very big implications for Carthage in this game. They've played 3 ranked opponents in a row here in their own conference. Obviously, conference play, 4-1 is Loras, Carthage 5-1. So from that perspective, it's important to have the 2-0 over Loras as far as any tiebreakers are concerned. As far as national rankings, it matters as well because you lost to number 19 the previous game. So to keep yourself in that top 5, you need that win here.
Absolutely, and especially with how these regions stack up once the national, we get into the national tournament, this has been a much-needed win for Carthage if they can slam the door here.
Still have to slam that door shut, and Ryan Morey will be the one to hopefully help them get there with his serve, and a great triple block, and I think it was Schweitzer the one who got the most to make it now 22-18, 3 points away with Morey back to serve again.
Absolutely, and that is a huge play for Carthage coming out of the timeout. Don't let them force the side out.
And this one will get through, and that will hit off the rafters, and they're able to get it back across. A little bit of help with how that one angled off, but the volleyball gods don't smile on them for long as Loras is able to get the kill there, 22-19.
Absolutely. Heads up volleyball using the rafters by Carthage, but then an absolutely electric swing by Bo Brainerd, keeping Loras in this ball game.
Brainerd has been one of the important players for keeping Loras at least close, especially in this set in particular. As this one comes over to the near side, Otto tries to go cross court. That one dug out, back across the net. Morey this time going right into the middle, and Schweitzer sends it down for the kill, 23-19, 2 points away from taking set number 3.
For all you Monsters Inc. fans out there, we have a 23-19.
That's a good one. I didn't even think about that. Oh my gosh, I haven't seen much.
I long for that reference every game.
And you got one.
I rarely get it.
Got it today, though, the 23-19, as this one sent over by Hendricks. Comes back into the middle, and they will call that Firebirds point. We are now to match point, 24-19. And back to serve will be Owen Otto.
Tarble Arena comes to their feet.
Otto, the jump serve, hits the tape, controlled to the near side, off the block, and it's up into the air. Back over to the near side, he tries to tool it off the block, and it looks like he does. Heiss makes it 25-19, a 3-0 victory for the Firebirds.
3-0 victory on a 3-0 run off the timeout. Absolutely electric finish for Carthage and a statement win coming off a 5-set upset at North Central earlier this week.
They played a great game today, though. This was the closest game they had at 25-19, 25-17. The other two scores for these sets. And you have to think that this is a very convincing win for Carthage in the number 2 team in the CCIW.
Absolutely, and I think, for Carthage, you got 3 games left in conference play. You take care of business, you host the conference tournament, which is going to be huge because there's no more electric place to play than Tarble Arena when it comes to men's volleyball. And then on top of that too, this is a huge win for potentially hosting the regional when we get into postseason. Again, still plenty of games left to be played. Got to take care of business. But I think if you're the committee, you're seeing this win and the bounce back and the resilience this team's shown, and that's going to go a long way when it comes to selections later on.
And we didn't get to talk about it too much. A couple of injuries, though, too, that the Firebirds have been dealing with as well. So working through that and still playing well against all of these ranked opponents is something that matters, too.
Absolutely, and like I said, they had to go a couple games without Owen Hendricks, including the game at Aurora where they took care of business, winning in 4. He came back for North Central, but he wasn't 100%. You never are 100% after you miss a few games because you fall out of sync with it. Your swing timing might be off. Your just atmospheric, you're not quite used to it. You got to shake the rust off of it.
Yeah.
Today, Owen Hendricks came out and dominated, tying Owen Otto with, he was second with 10. Owen Otto ended up 11 kills there. Both of them on 22 attempts each, hitting over 40% each. You're going to win a lot of ball games when your top 2 hitters are both hitting over 40%.
And for those who might not know, 40% in volleyball is a particularly great stat. It's usually you'll see teams around like 30%, right? So 10% higher is very significant when you're talking about your killing percentages.
Absolutely, and I mean, Carthage as a whole, when you look at it, hit 37.3% tonight, held Loras to 10.8% throughout 3 sets, even holding them negative in set 2, and just barely over 15% in the first and third set.
Yeah, their 10% went up by 4 points with that last set because that's how poorly they had been the 2 sets prior. But, I mean, you look at just all of the stats across the board, statistically, the Firebirds were top in pretty much every single one. They had less errors as well overall, which is maybe one of the most important, and that's something too for Loras that they're going to look at. 19 attack errors. That's a lot of errors to have in a game.
Yeah, you're not going to win many ball games when you're not taking care of the volleyball from that department. And then, again, Carthage slamming the door, just 1 error in set number 3. Absolutely electric ability to take care of the volleyball. 3 aces, 3 blocks in that set. Just electric statement made by one of the top teams in the country here today.
Yep, and we do have soon our interview with head coach Keith Kafer, so see when he's going to be coming up here. Should be soon, but either way, just looking at what we've got here, just looking at those overall, not many errors for the Firebirds overall. I mean, the service errors, you're okay with if you're within a couple of service errors of your opposing team, that's fine. Especially a lot of guys on the Firebirds take a lot of jump serves, but that's okay as we can look at the up-and-coming broadcast here. The next one will be on Tuesday, March 25th. It'll be the Firebirds versus North Central College for that one, and then Friday it'll be baseball once again versus Wheaton College.
Absolutely. Baseball's back in Kenosha. Got a win against Lakeland the other day. Dropped one today, unfortunately, to Oshkosh at home. But this baseball team's going to make some noise in head coach Augie Schmidt's final season. And then on Saturday, men's lacrosse returns. Men's volleyball hosts Illinois Wesleyan right here in Tarble Arena. Women's lacrosse hosting Calvin. So a very busy day here on the campus of Carthage College on Saturday, March 29th. Next home broadcast for us, obviously, will be next Saturday against Wesleyan. I think probably a good time to take a little breather. We'll come back when Coach Keith Kafer joins us here on the Firebirds Broadcasting Network.
We welcome you back here at Tarble Arena. It's Chris LoBosco here alongside Justin Coorigan as we now have with us head coach, Coach Key Kafer. And Coach, congrats on the win, a good win today. What were your thoughts about the performance from your guys?
Yeah, really proud of the way we spread the ball again today. I think, 22 to Otto, 22 to Hendricks, 19 to Heiss. I think we really spread the ball around really well, and I think that's where we're so difficult to beat is when we can use the entire length of the net. And I think all those guys hit above 400. So Ben was a little bit lower, but really good day by all of us. I thought Ben played great defense, and that was kind of his job today against Coorigan, who's best player in the country, I think, and the stats he's putting up this year, unbelievable. And so Ben's job today was more a defensive role than it was for an offensive role, and I thought Ben did a really great job in that space. I thought Hudson Schweitzer did a great job at getting some block touches against Corey, and so did Ryan Cholowinski. So a defensive day for us in terms of what we're doing on the right pin. I think we did that great. Ryan Morey spread the ball around well again today. A lot of assists, I felt like 40, so that's a lot in 3 sets.
Oh, yeah.
And when our offense is cooking, we're pretty good. So, Zach Nolan passed well, Owen Hendricks passed well, Owen Otto passed well, and when we can do that, we're a pretty tough team to beat.
Coach, you've had a long stretch since we last got to speak with you. 3-1 win at Aurora, tough 5-setter at North Central that didn't go your way. What was the message this week, kind of bouncing back from that to get such a statement win today?
I think the biggest message was we did such a great job all season long, and especially against that win against Aurora, to get in a position where we're in a commanding spot to be a high seed in the NCAA tournament and get to play those matches, and that's what we're here for, to play those matches, and so and to win the conference, right? And so we have done such a great job all season long to put ourselves in that position. A little stumbling block there on Wednesday where we kind of gave all that hard work back, and the message was, do you have the teammateship and the camaraderie to go earn it back, to go earn that conference championship commanding spot back, to go earn a higher NCAA seed back, right? We gave it away on Wednesday, and I think quite literally we gave it away. We played 2 elite sets of volleyball and 1 and 4, and around 2 bad sets of volleyball in 2 and 3, and then a bad 5th set. So we get to dictate our own destiny again, and that was the goal tonight, is we kind of gave that away on Wednesday. But the positive was we had the opportunity tonight to earn it right back and kind of give Loras their 2nd loss of the season, and so that was what we wanted to do, is to go put ourselves back in position to go command the conference. Now
the Jewhawks came in hitting 353 on the season as a team. You guys came in at 340. On the night, you guys hit 373 to their 108 with their 19 errors. What went right on the defensive end to kind of take out their rhythm in their offensive attack?
I don't know. I think that's a really, really, really good volleyball team on that side of the net. As I told their coach Dylan, I think we had a bad day on Wednesday, and we weren't able to kind of grind through it enough to get a win. And I think that's probably their bad day. Unfortunate for them, it came against us where it was tough to kind of grind back a win. Unfortunate for us, we had it against a top half opponent too with North Central. And so, that's a better volleyball team than I think we saw today. And the stats show that. Every stat shows that. We worked hard. I think our middle backs dug a lot of balls. Owen Otto and Hendricks dug a ton of balls, and that was part of the mission. You got to be a scrappy defensive team. And I think we won long rallies today. I think Ryan Morris hit the high ball well. Ben Heiss dug a lot of balls today that he hasn't always dug. I think Michael Yem, a new role for him in the serve sub position, scored us some big points. That big ace in set 3 that kind of got us going in a way. And so the biggest problem against North Central is we were all trying to just grind and find a way to win, and nobody stepped up to a moment. And I think all the guys that played today stepped up to the moment. Each had their own ability to help us go win today.
A few more games left in the season, too. Illinois Wesleyan next year for Senior Day. Looking forward to the last couple games we have here in the CCIW. We talked about controlling your own destiny, and part of that is making sure you finish strong here with these opponents who aren't ranked opponents, but still opponents that you need to beat. So what is the goal here? How do you keep the focus for these guys going into these next couple?
Yeah, I mean, this conference is really difficult, man. We got the top 2 besides us in the top 30. Wesleyan's just kind of climbing into that top 30. They're close to getting into the top 30, and so there's no easy matches in the CCIW in any sport, particularly our sport with only 6 teams. Loras is the affiliate member, being one of the top 15 teams in the country, so there's no easy match.
Right.
Wesleyan gave us a run for our money at their place, and so lock in, find the offense, which we did today, for a consistent full 3 sets. And then don't take for granted our ability to play defense. I thought we got sloppy, we got reachy against North Central, and today we were just super disciplined in the backcourt and the front court, and we're able to run things down. And so discipline is the key word. We're going to take this win and celebrate it and feel good about ourselves on that comeback from the North Central loss. But then we're going to make sure we're locked back in and go win the last 4 games or whatever, 3 games we have left in the season. So a long 2 weeks before we can go play the conference tournament. We're getting closer to the end of the year where we want to be.
Well, Coach, thank you so much for your time. Congrats on the win, and enjoy it while you can.
Appreciate it, man. Go Birds.
That was head coach Coach Keek Hafer. That is a bit of a tongue twister there to say it like that. But Justin, I think Coach had some great words there about making sure they could maintain the focus and talking about how, we talked about it. They really had multiple guys involved making this a win today.
Absolutely. The discipline was there on the offensive end, the defensive end, and you saw it, and there never really was a Loras run throughout this game. You saw a little bit of a build back in set 3, but there was never a big run like we saw Carthage have pretty much in all 3 sets. And I think that is where I think he hit on the head too. I don't think this was Loras' best performance tonight.
Right.
They're still a really good volleyball team, and I think they're a better volleyball team than they showed today. But still a commanding statement win for the Firebirds.
Very much needed, like you heard Coach say, but I think that's kind of it for us. Any final thoughts, Justin?
I think we have got a very exciting CCIW tournament coming up on the horizon, hopefully in this arena.
Right.
Between all these CCIW teams who have been incredible. So to close us out for our executive producer, Mike Love, our producer, John Vojnovic, our director, Allison, along with Jeremy, Morgan, Ryder, and Addison. I'm Justin Coorigan, alongside my partner on the day,
Chris LoBosco. Thank you so much for joining us here for this Firebirds broadcast, as this has been a presentation of the Firebird broadcast production in Carthage College. So that's going to do it for us. We will see you next time, and the next time that is for the men's volleyball team will be Senior Day on the 29th. We'll see you next time.